Hey y'all, what's up? It's Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So, since I have been gone, I've actually had a chance to go to my local bookstore, mostly in McKay's, and find some new books. Well, not books, but get some books on my list and that weren't on my list. So, without further ado, let's get started. So this is my book haul, and it is a pretty huge book haul, so be prepared. The first book that we have is Honeymoon by James Patterson and Howard Ruffin. And I heard about this book in middle school. One of my friends had started reading it, and I was like, ooh, that sounds really interesting. And it wasn't until here recently that whenever I got back into, like, reading mystery thrillers that I was like, I need to pick this book up. It is about an FBI agent who goes on this cruise, I think. I'm just going to read the back to y'all. It goes... how does it feel to be desired by every man and envied by every woman? Wonderful. This is the life of Nora Sinclair has worked for, the life she will never give up. She doesn't attract men. She doesn't just attract men, she enthralls them. So why is FBI agent John O'Hara interested in Nora Sinclair? Mysterious things happen to people around her, especially the men. And there is something dangerous about Nora that lures O'Hara at the same time that it fills him with fear. Is something dark hidden in the gaps in her past? Yeah. That sounds really interesting. And I found out that they actually have a second one out that goes with it. And so I really need to read that one before I get to the other one. But I found this in like a small, like, I guess mass market edition. But like, I mean, you know, I can't complain. You know, I was just looking all over for this book. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's used. I mean, it was only like 90 cents, and that makes me very happy inside, the fact that it was 90 cents. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that one. The next one is Atonement by Ian McEwan, and I've heard a lot about him. The book's pretty thin, so it doesn't look too bad to read. I don't know, I haven't checked out the rating on a lot of these on Goodreads, but I do know that there is a movie out about this with Keira Knightley and my man James McAvoy, and Saoirse Ronan, and like, cause she plays the little sister in this, but she plays Brienne. But if you haven't watched the movie, I would recommend watching it. It's really good. It's just got some like dirty parts, so don't, you know, if you're a parent, don't let your kids watch it. Watch it first. But this, I've heard that this is really good. My mom wanted to read this book. She picked it up, and I was like, well, I wanted to read this book as well. The story seemed interesting, and yes, I have watched the movie before the book. So I kind of did a bad thing. I broke one of my rules. But you know, that's alright, because I'm going to read it anyways. And I really like this cover too. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's about these two that are kind of like separated because the guy, and I forgot what his name was, James McAvoy. I'm just going to call him James McAvoy for right now. But James McAvoy, he ends up... he and Keira Knightley's character end up getting caught in the library doing something they're not supposed to be doing. But, and then while that's happening, something else has happened as well. A lot of Brienne's friends have come over, and it's kind of like a party sort of thing. And they've come over, and one of them, something happens to one of the girls. And Brienne mistakes that what happened for what happened with her older sister and James McAvoy, which is definitely not what happened. What happened in the library with these two were consensual. So there you go. But yeah, so she, you know, mistakes them, and then James McAvoy gets in trouble and you know, gets sent away, and it kind of chronicles Brienne's story and her, right, you know, she's a little story writer, and she likes to write stories, so she kind of like wrote a story about the night that this happened and stuff like that. And then she ends up you know, it kind of chronicles their story as well. So it's really interesting, and I really like the movie. So I really need to read the book now, because I didn't know that there was I did know there was a book out about it. But yeah. So moving on, the next book is, and I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous haul or not. If I did, I'm just going to mention this again. This is the Prairie Romance collection by various authors. It's Kathy Marie Haig, etc., etc., etc. And it's about these about like 9 women who, and they're all different, and they're all like finding love on the prairie, and, you know, settling down on the prairie and everything. And yeah, it's a Christian read, and I have a book just like it right here, right there, and that is I'll talk about that whenever, you know, we talk about my British shelf. If y'all want to know more about my British shelf, please let me know. I love it. But yeah, I love these little, like, it's kind of like an anthology a little bit, but they're fiction, and they're all kind of, like, put together, and they're all based on, like, you know, set in the prairie. And they're just Christian, good, clean romance. So if you want a good, clean romance, go for this, because it seems like it'd be pretty cute. And I have another one of these books as well. I'm a sucker. Bride fiction is my weakness. Like, I like anything mushy and, like, gooey like that. So, yeah. This is the Prairie Romance collection. Excuse me. So, the next book that we have is The Help by Catherine Stockett. And I watched this movie, and it was so funny. I loved it. And then I found out that there was a book about it, and I was like, we have to get it. I found this in the bargain section of my bookstore, so it was about like 75 cents, and I was like, pick it up. And it doesn't look to be in too bad of condition either, so that makes me even happier. But this is actually like the movie cover. I'm not a big fan of movie covers, but if I have to get them, I will. Excuse me. But if I have to get them, I will. So, yeah, but, you know, this chronicles Abilene Clark is a black maid in 1962 Jackson, Mississippi, raising her 17th white child. She's always taking orders quietly, but lately leaves her with a bitterness she can no longer bite back. Her friend Mittie Jackson has certainly never held her tongue or held on to a job for very long, but now she's working with a newcomer with secrets that leave her speechless, and socialite Skeeter Phelan, I don't know how to say that name, has just returned from college with an ambition and a degree, but to her mother's lament, no husband. Normally, Skeeter would find solace in Constantine, the beloved maid who raised her, but Constantine has inexplicably disappeared. So if you haven't watched the movie, I don't know. I guess read the book first. I broke another one of my rules. The same rule. And that is to read the book before you watch the movie. You know, I don't know. Watch the movie first. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I love Octavia Spencer and Viola Davis. They are two of my favorite actors, like, ever. I love them, and I think they do such a really great job in this, and I think Emma Stone does a really good job in this too. She kind of, like, surprised me, but, you know, it is about race relations in the 60s, and, you know, the differences in that, and it's just, I don't know, it's a very enlightening book. It shows you that not everything, you know, still wasn't solved, and I think this is still can be very relatable to today, and that, you know, how race relations here in the United States still aren't solved. So I think that, you know, this would be a really good, even though it is set in the 60s, I still think this would be a very good, like, book to read for modern times. So I'd go ahead and go pick that up as well. So that's another book that was in my haul. Moving on. Excuse me, my nose is, like, itching like crazy. Blue by Danielle Steele. This was like 75 cents as well, and I just saw it and I was like, ooh, I want to pick it up and read it. I like the cover of it, and I think it's about, I'm going to read y'all this excerpt because it doesn't leave you with much, but it leaves you with just enough to, like, want to read more. So it goes, a chance meeting on a snowy night. A woman who has lost hope, a homeless boy with nothing left to lose. When their worlds collide, there will be battles to fight for trust, for justice, for truth, for life, and love will be born again. So I've never really read a Danielle Steele book. I have 3 of her books as of now. This is the 3rd one, and I have not picked it up yet and read it, but this one seems like the most interesting, the one that I think I will pick up first and read. I still have other books of hers that I want to get because they seem interesting, but yeah, I'm really excited to read this. And then we have another book that I found in the bargain section. No, it wasn't in the bargain section. I don't know where it was, but it was in some section, and it was only like $1 or $2, and I was just like, you know what? Seemed interesting. I'll just pick it up. But it's called Pocahontas, and it's by Susan Donnell, and it got like 4 stars on Goodreads, so I was like impressed. The only thing I don't like about it is its cheesy cover. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little cheesy, but you know, it's good. And it's basically the story about Pocahontas, and it does tell kind of like what I would call the Disney version of it. You historians out there, me included, because I do have a history background, but no, the real story, and that it really wasn't Pocahontas and John Smith, that they didn't have a relationship together, but you do know that that's the truth. But this one is actually like fiction. You know, it talks about her father, the English coming in and settling, and you know, John Smith and her romantic relationship with him. So I don't think she actually like the author actually goes in and tries to fix like what Disney made. Actually, I think Disney corrected their mistake a few years later with Pocahontas 2, Journey to the New World. We'll talk about that later if you want. But yeah, so I picked that up and I thought it'd be pretty interesting. So yeah, and then we have another one of my favorites. I have the book behind me. I here recently finished the first part. This is actually the second one in a series, but I actually finished the first part, and that is The Elite by Kiera Cass. I actually picked this up at Barnes & Noble, so it is brand new, and I'm really excited to read it. I could not wait to get my hands on it, and so finally we went to Barnes & Noble's, and I picked it up, and I was like, gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. So I can finally read the second one in the series. I'm so excited about it because I had to, you know, right now I'm still reading Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, Sword of Summer, but I will read this as soon as I get finished with that because I'm just so excited about this series. I mentioned in a book review like 2 or 3 weeks ago that I posted how much I loved this series so far, and I'm really excited about reading that. You'll have to excuse me. I had to get me something to drink. So the next book we have is The One by Kiera Cass. I actually was at Ed McKay's this past Sunday, and we went, and I found it, and it's actually in hardback, which is what I eventually want to get the whole series in because I'm obsessed with it. And you know, if series that I'm actually going to like officially really keep, I want to get the hardbacks in them. So I found it, and this is the 3rd installment in the selection series. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not going to read the back because I don't want to spoil it for myself just yet. And then let's see, we've got this one, and this one might have been in another haul too, I can't remember. But this is Bed of Roses by Nora Roberts. It's the second in the Bride Quartet. I have the first one, which is called Vision in White, and I had actually started that one, and I got about like 5 chapters in, and then I decided to quit. I just didn't feel like it was the right time, you know? There's some books out there that I feel like it's the right time, and then it's the wrong time. And I just didn't feel like it was the right time for me. And besides, Magnus Chase was just calling my name. I heard Lauren, Lauren, Lauren coming from Magnus Chase, so I decided to pick it up, and I'm glad that I did because it has been good so far. But anyways, so this is the second in the quartet. It follows these 4 girls: Mackenzie, Parker, Laurel and somebody else, I can't remember, but they're owner of this wedding company called Vows, and I believe the first one follows Mackenzie as she finds love. This one follows another girl as she finds love. The third one finds the other one, follows the other girl as she finds love, and then the final one follows the fourth girl in the quartet of friends as she finds love. So I think, these are really going to be really good. Just like I said, I'm a sucker for bride fiction, so anything dealing with brides, I'm all for it. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And then the next books I have, and I might have mentioned this one as well, it's Dark Secrets. Dark Secrets 1 by Elizabeth Chandler. I actually have another series by Elizabeth Chandler called the Kissed by an Angel series, which I absolutely loved and I've reread many, many times. It's not like a very popular series, but I actually really, really loved it. Except for the last book, but we'll talk about that later. So I decided to get this one, and this one follows two different girls and, the secrets that they have and how life-changing their secrets can be for them. So we'll have to read that one. I can't wait for that one. The next one is Sanctuary by Nora Roberts. One of my friends was reading this, and she was like, Lauren, it's really good. She's like, you need to keep reading it, or she's like, you need to pick it up. And so while I was at Ed McKay's, where I got all of these books from, except one of them, while I was at Ed McKay's, I found it, and I was like, oh, let me just pick it up, and it was like 25 cents, so I picked it up. I heard Nora Roberts is good. This follows a journalist, and she goes back home, and she figures out some secrets of her mother that she really didn't want to find out. So, yeah, that seems very, very, very good. Our next book is, and I found this also at Ed McKay's, they're actually starting to carry more of these books, and I'm really excited about that. And that is, this is also our last book, so we're going to have to say goodbye to this haul. But it is The Brides of Chance by Kelly Eileen Hake and other writers. This follows the Chance brothers as they find brides. And, again, it is a Christian fiction, and it is bride fiction, and it's just, good, clean, feel good, like, makes you feel good fiction, and it has those, like, little storybook edges. I don't know if you can tell what I'm talking about. It's, like, compared to that. So I really like that. And it's thick. It's a little thicker, but I really enjoy, the first one that I read, which was The British Brides. And I still have that one, and I reread it. And I also have another one. It's like, I can't find it right now. Oh, I'm pretty sure I might have gotten rid of it. But it was The Christmas Brides. I liked that one. I just didn't like it as much. But this one was really calling my name, and I was like, I need to read it. So, that's it for the book haul. We had a lot of books in this one, so I'm sorry it's fairly long. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button down here and hit the notification button down here if you want to be alerted as to when I upload new videos. But until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye.